Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. 3 words about today's video: no low tops. Yeah, like I always say, brands are flooding the market with low top basketball shoes. So if you don't like how things are getting increasingly minimal, if you prefer to stick to high tops or at least mid tops, let's talk about the best of those options that you can get right now. There are quite a few great shoes that are a higher than average cut. From this year's releases, I picked out a top 5. I just want to say one thing: having a higher cut around the collar does not necessarily mean better ankle support, but all of these are great performers. All of them should be available. We'll quickly go through the pros and cons of each, and here we go. Starting off the list, we have a shoe that made a comeback recently, and that is the New Balance Fresh Foam BB. Yeah, like the Kawhi 3, New Balance paused the release for a few months. The reason for this one was the shoe being prone to cracks on the outsole, and the Kawhi 3 had concerns with damages on the upper, something like that. I have not experienced any major problems. Well, I've only used my pairs indoors, so I can't really speak on the durability outdoors. And this shoe was kind of funny because it was the complete opposite of my expectations in almost every aspect. You think Fresh Foam was a selling point, but the best part about it was the traction performance. The midsole will feel pretty stiff at first, partly due to the TPU caging, but it's really responsive. I also thought that being a higher cut, this will be heavier than average, but it turned out it's very light, especially the first few colorways. This new vintage pair might be the best colorway I've had on any hoop shoe this year. But materials-wise, this upper will be a little bit more firm. It's a one-piece upper in what they usually call a seesaw color with a slightly yellow look. I'm totally in love with this shoe, or this particular colorway. Anyways, next up, I have a budget shoe with a retail price of 85 bucks in USD, the Adidas Bounce Legend. The midsole setup is bounce, very typical of an Adidas budget shoe, and they didn't even bother to take it out of the name. Highlights are the lockdown you get with the lacing system. For me, I didn't really need a top eyelet. It was already secure enough. Traction works very well on both clean and dusty courts, about average or slightly heavier than average weight, true to size fit. For its price, the padding around the collar is not bad. Downside is just that the upper feels a little bit plasticky in the way it bends. If you want a higher cut shoe that doesn't cost you a lot, this is a very solid budget option in my opinion. Shifting over to Nike now, the GT Jump 2 is definitely a great high cut shoe. A lot of you probably know, as the name suggests, this one is all about maximum cushion and bounce. Well, all that is already guaranteed. The air bubbles surrounding the collar do serve some functionality as well. It allows your ankle to sit comfortably in between, unlike different types of movements, and it doesn't squeeze inward too much. Traction is just about average. I was concerned about the stability on hard cuts and lateral movements, given how stacked up the shoe is, but it turned out it was better than I thought. In terms of the overall playability, I also think it's much better and easier to use compared to the first GT Jump. Another mid to high top shoe shouldn't be a surprise pick here. I have the Air Jordan 38. So once again, for me personally, I take the Jordan 38 over the 37 any day of the week. The biggest difference is with the materials. Take the collar and padding, for example. The 38 hugs your feet much more nicely. Pretty comfortable upper in general, while the 37 had a terrible execution. And that thin layer of padding around the ankle, you might as well just leave it there as nothing. The Jordan 38 is right around average weight, has good traction, and as a flagship model, the cushion did not disappoint. The low top version might come out soon, but for the sake of this list, we're only interested in the higher cut shoes, and this is one of the best ones out there. If you're patient enough, I'm sure you can find a great deal on these later on. All right, this time we for sure saved the best for last, and the best mid to high top shoe that you can buy right now, to me, is the New Balance 2 V4. This one's more of a mid top, and even though the materials are really just a sender mesh, step-in comfort was actually amazing. No issues with the upper stability based on my experience. Traction isn't the most loud and squeaky type, but it works perfectly fine. Cushion well exceeded my expectations. The midsole feels soft and comfortable on feet, but also gives you decent impact protection. And obviously, unlike the 2 V3, they made it a higher cut this time. I think this shoe would have felt worse if it was more minimalistic. So the way it is a perfect shoe for its price at $120. So that concludes my list on the best high top and mid top basketball shoes this year. I think it's safe to say that more than half of the shoes that brands are making are low tops, if not even more. It's a little sad that a great traditional cut around the ankle is pretty hard to come by these days, but these 5 will get the job done. Some other good ones that I can think of are the Shadow 4 from Wave Wade. Very affordable. I'm really excited to get the Shadow 5 soon. I think the new hoop shoes that Skechers made are more of a mid-top too. Let me know what your picks will be down in the comments. Do you prefer to play in low tops or high tops? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.